Very hopeful and optimistic news from the Middle East. Hostage deal. The hostages, dead and alive, are going back to Israel, and 2,000 Palestinians held are going back to Gaza. This is a win by any stretch of the imagination, and there's a promise that aid will start to flow into Gaza, and the pressure and oppression and, frankly, forced starvation of Gaza will hopefully soon come to an end. The Israeli troops, the IDF, are apparently withdrawing. There's a ceasefire, and everyone's keeping their fingers crossed that it'll last and it'll lead to the next steps for a lasting peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Unfortunately, I'm personally not that optimistic given the reality of the Israeli government now and Hamas so far refusing to surrender all of their arms. When an infinite force, namely the zeal of Netanyahu and his right-wing cronies to really annex all of Gaza and even the West Bank, strikes the immovable force of Hamas and their ideology for destroying all of Israel, there's not much room for negotiation. In my opinion, what's going on right now, there's an appeasement of outside forces. Qatar organized this thing. They're tight with Trump. Saudis, UAE, they have a security deal with Israel. Trump wants his Nobel Peace Prize, and it's heavy in Gaza. Everyone wants a relief from the nonstop war and destruction. But the underlying causes haven't changed. And based on what's been established so far with the negotiations, all that's really going to happen is the hostage release and prisoner exchange, and then let's see what happens. Trump's 20-point plan is so complicated in details that it's easy to sabotage it or mess it up. And the objectives, once again, of Netanyahu and his extreme right-wing government have not changed. They do not want a two-state solution, and they won't let it happen. And the objectives of Hamas haven't changed, and they don't seem to be going anywhere, based on the promises that have been made, at least so far. So am I hopeful that this will lead to lasting Mideast peace? Of course. But the realist in me is essentially nothing has changed. Everyone is obsessed and focused on the hostages like they're this magic ticket to ride for Middle East peace. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great that they're coming home. And it's great that the Israelis are releasing 2,000 Palestinians that they've held. But as I'm saying, I don't see any signs of this precipitating any kind of lasting peace, let alone a two-state solution. I hope I'm wrong, but I see this whole thing unraveling pretty damn and sadly fast.